It is a very good day and a hearty welcome to the magnificent Chawanda Stadium. And of course, today it's a very historic day, a very historic moment for Zimbabwean football. As this match that we're about to bring you right here, featuring league debutants, that is Hardrock, taking on defending champions Scotland, to open up, that is the debut match to be held at Chawanda Stadium. And it's a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to Chawanda Stadium. My name is Valentine Mabugu. Asarele Hapa. So far, you've been enjoying, that is match day one of the Kasulaga Premier Soccer League. It doesn't come any bigger. Who would have thought that by today, Dynamos will be sitting at the apex of the Zimbabwe Premier Soccer League after their victory over Tel1. I'm sure most of you would have written them out after their defeat against Scotland in the Kasulaga Challenge Cup that did take place last Sunday, just 7 days after they managed to beat Tel1 by 2 goals to 1 rather, after a postponed match yesterday due to a waterlogged pitch. But today, I have to talk about how magnificent Chawanda Stadium is. Look at the lush green stadium. Look at the stadium itself. The fans sitting comfortably and waiting in great anticipation of what will pan out of this match. And everyone is talking about how good Scotland are as a side. Looking at how they did manage to beat Dynamos by 5 goals. Of course, we did manage to speak to the coaches, and I'm sure you hear from their sentiments what their thoughts are. And also talking about Hardrock themselves, acquisitions from Swaziland. And of course, they've got Kevin Kahindi as their coach as well in their debut season. And they've recruited well with some of notable names like, that is Donald Mudadi, Junior Makurike, among other great players like Tonderai Matiaunga, who will keep the goals for them despite the injury to Martin Mapisa, who got injured during preseason. The only missing person for that is Hardrock this afternoon. But without that, everything else for Hardrock is quite in order with the side that they've set up today, this afternoon, and it promises to be a blood and a thunder encounter. And we are very expectant here. And it is the Kasulaga Premier Soccer League that has kick-started with great anticipation. People predicting that this could be the best season since the turn of the millennium. It is yet to be proven, but I'm sure it's something that we will look at with great enthusiasm, with great anticipation, and greatest expectations as well. Let's talk a bit about Scotland themselves. They started their season with their title defense away from home. Some call them, they are the opulent ones, while that is Hardrock are the affluent ones in terms of affordability. They've come to change Zimbabwean football. The football Zimbabwe ecosystem and dynamics has really shifted, and it is looking quite immaculate and encouraging, with a number of foreigners joining different clubs across Zimbabwe. You see, with Scotland themselves, they've got Namibians, they've got Eswatini players as well, and they've recruited well in as much as they are the defending champions. They did move their coach, that is Tonderai Ndiraya, who has moved to Chicken Inn after winning the league title, and employed Norman Mapeza, who has taken over and had the brightest starts to his campaign as head coach of Scotland, drubbing Dynamos by 5 goals to 0 in the Kasulaga Challenge Cup. And I'm sure the fans are expected that this could be the side to watch with the depth that they have and what we can look forward to come this time around. And looking at Hardrock themselves, debut season, debutants, but it doesn't look like that. The community has come, the fans have gathered, and they are expecting a blood and thunder encounter today. Talking to the new coaches, that is Norman Mapeza, he did highlight that he didn't make much changes to his side that faced Dynamos. He says you can't change a winning team, and that's why he has kept the players that did start against Dynamos, while Kevin Kahindi only missing Martin Mapisa. So I'll tell you what, Chawanda Stadium is ready, and Asarele Hapa at our studios in Pocketsville, you are ready. Let's cross over to our Pocketsville studios, where we have Tendai Spanda waiting and holding forth for us as we analyze and look at this epic encounter at Chawanda Stadium, a historic moment for Zimbabwean football. The stadium is open, it's ready, and it's looking immaculate.
Wow, that's Valentine giving us live coverage from Chawanda in the heart of Kwekwe. And you are in studio. And the two men are going to be helping us understand the game that's at hand. It's a Sunday fixture, early or rather a late afternoon fixture. We have to my far right, that is Spencer Nyamadzao. And to my immediate right, we have a man who is not new to the football scene, a man celebrating Dynamo's win. It is Chief Justice Majavi. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
Pleasure. And blockbuster waits this afternoon, I tell you. Hardrock taking on Scotland, and what a way to open the season. And this is a fixture a lot of people are expecting, wanting to see if Scotland can hold their own, as well as if Hardrock can also hold their own. I mean, there's quite a lot of activity during the off-season, a lot of movement. Both teams having new players arriving, new coaches arriving. I mean, Norman Mapes was with FC Platinum, now with Scotland. KK was with Dynamos, now with Hardrock. And let's see how these two new coaches will infuse their thought process in these two teams.
I mean, amazing. It's thank you for just making it easier for us to get in conversation. Now the story is 3 o'clock sharp. This is when we're going to be having kickoff. Two wonderful teams in terms of how they are resourced. We are talking of the defending champions, Scotland, under new tutelage, that is Norman Mapesa, the man who spent so much time at FC Platinum, winning almost back-to-back titles, and now he has made the most lucrative switch to Scotland. Chief, what do you expect after seeing Norman Mapesa and his men demolish Dynamos in the Castle Challenge Cup, now that he's playing against a new side, Hardrock, coming in from the central region?
Yeah, I think it was a good start altogether for Scotland, especially in that cup. And against Dynamos, you know, winning, you also have confidence. He boosted the confidence. Going to Hardrock today, it's another new ball game. But I think they've got enough experience as well. They can manage some of these things. And at the same time, I'm happy about Hardrock. They brought in football in Kwekwe. You know, it was long overdue after Langsha left. Yeah. And this is very interesting. And you can see the stadium, beautiful one. And of course, it's a good game versus Scotland. I think this should be happening all over. We should be seeing such type of facilities. And at the same time, like Spencer said, about the players' movement, the coaches' movement. This should, it's normal in the off-season. This should happen. Okay. This shows there are people who are preparing for something. You know, it's at least it included money, which is very important, and it shows that, you know, it makes the league very strong. And I'm happy about whatever setup is there, and the atmosphere looks interesting. I don't know, Hardrock, you know, I heard they've got very good fan base.
Yes.
In Kwekwe there, and of course some of the few supporters from Zeshavan who come in, they'll be following Mapesa there. But it's interesting, and I'm happy about today. This morning there was a great game. You know, yeah, it was a good game. I know I should talk about it. It was a good
Midlands.
game. Yeah, but you know, unfortunately they didn't play yesterday. Yeah,
okay.
it is sad because the pitch was not good.
Okay.
But it's good.
And then we want to look into transfers, and one man who could be making so much noise is the man Abubakar Morford, dominating that midfield. He was with Moors from half season last season, and now he's joined Scotland. How much of a player he is going to be this afternoon, considering how much of a good player he is, the caliber of Abubakar Morford, joined by Ziocha as well, Msebe, being in that midfield? How is Abubakar Morford going to maneuver in that midfield?
I tell you, I think he has made the right move, and going to Scotland with Norman Mapesa as coach, I think his game is going to go to the next level. I think Norman Mapesa is one coach who pushes players, and I think for Abubakar, he will be given a chance to prove himself and to actually do well, especially if you look at the midfield of Walthamson also in there. I think it's just going to get better and better by age.
Better by age. And then let's look at the starting 11 for Hardrock. A new setup altogether. Off air, we were talking about if there are any players that came from the central region, but you're looking into Twanderai Mateaonga being the chosen goalkeeper. Is it a surprise?
No, I think it's Twande has been there for quite long.
Yeah.
You know, some good experience, and of course, it's a new team in the league. You also need some players who have got that experience to gel in. I also noted that there's also Navai, last year's top goal scorer, and it's very good. You know, he comes from the Midlands as well. It can also boost up. You know, in terms of I understand. You can see the arrival.
Yeah, the players arriving. The That is Hardrock Football Club. So much composure, so much confidence. I mean, this is what happens and this is what I expect when a team is well resourced.
Absolutely. I mean, when a team is well resourced, and this also lifts the standards of our game. I mean, we were talking about the way our league is now attracting players from other nations. We've got players from Botswana, Swaziland, Zambia, Malawi, Uganda. So we are starting to attract quite a number of players from the continent. I also want to see a team that will also attract maybe players from Europe, like the South African League does. I mean, we're in the right direction, and with the investment in this league, I think we're only going to grow from strength to strength.
And then I'm talking about players playing abroad, not only foreign players. We have players that from Zimbabwe who are playing in Mozambique, playing in Namibia, playing in Tanzania, and they've come back. Shows you how good the league has now become.
Definitely, the league has become so good and competitive. I mean, if you look at the first 8 teams, I think any one of those teams can go on and walk away and take the premiership.
Amazing. And then let's look at Tinotenda Muringani playing for UD Songo FC from Mozambique, and now he is commanding a place in that Hardrock side. Is it going to be difficult for, is it going to be difficult for Scotland, considering they like to pass the ball, penetrate? He has so much experience. How difficult is it going to be?
No, I think, altogether, Hardrock, it's just a name which is new, but I think they've got some reputable names. You can see some of them are seasonal players, and they've got also this kind of experience of the Premier League, and it's not going to be just an easy game for Scotland. It's totally a big game for them. Also, you spoke about Tinotenda Muringai, very good player, and coming back and play here, I think he also feels better if he is playing at home. And you also have Bamara Mudadi also in the squad. It means a lot. There's a lot of congestion especially in midfield. I've noted a lot of players there, very good in midfield. So is Scotland. They've got the experience, knowledge, Msona also in the middle. And altogether, Hardrock is not that new. Also on the technical bench.
And that's Scotland arriving, the defending champions from the 2025 season in the Casolaga Premier League. You'd expect them to get to Chawanda with so much confidence. You look at a number of players they did sign, with also the coming in of the new manager, Norman Mapeza, Knowledge Msona, who also scored last weekend, together with the brother Walter Msona, who doubles up as captain. I mean, so much confidence. You look at Kamabiliat also coming in the second half. This is the depth and quality they do possess. And how instrumental is it going to be this afternoon and also all season going forward?
Well, it's going to be very instrumental. I mean, if you look at the bench, if you look at even the starting 11, you got Walter Msona, Knowledge, Timon Machope. I mean, this is a team. This is a team that's really, really strong. I mean, as you can see, the dressing room. I mean, Scotland with a nice branded kit, Adidas, and I think they've set the stage high for the other teams, and the other teams have to follow. But just going back, looking at the Scotland lineup, I think they've got the strongest team, like Justice was saying. They've got enough experience, players that have played.
Best team in the league so far?
Well, so far you will call them because they're the defending champions on that aspect. But they've got a wealth of experience in terms of players that have played for the national team, that have played abroad. I mean, Knowledge Msona played in Europe, he played in South Africa. Kamabila had played in South Africa and was the top player in South Africa. I mean, they've got a wealth of experience, players that can turn around should they need the experienced players to come to the party.
And then the bench. You look at how rich the bench is as well. That shows you how good a team is. You're talking of, Mtasa provided the much-needed assist to put the icing on the cake last season. Many people don't talk about such players, but he has also Kamabiliat on the bench. You're talking of Mureremba on the bench. How good is this side? It means this is a headache any manager needs.
Yeah, you need a competitive squad altogether. You just don't need the 11 players to play on a match day, especially now when you look at the magnitude of the squad. They are going to play a lot of games also going to the Champions League. You need that depth. And you also need the young players who can bring in some energy. And also from,
And then we were talking about the starting 11 when we were questioning how Hardrock is going to set up. It almost looks they are playing with a 4-4-2, the most traditional formation in football history. Navaya and Piri being the two centre forwards, Mudadi and Simelane, Dlamini and Bamara. When you're talking about Ngwenya, Diro, Sibanda and Muringai from Mozambique. Just that lineup alone. Does it give you confidence playing against Scotland?
It gives me confidence. I mean, Chief was talking of Tondre Mateonga. He's an experienced goalkeeper, played for Dynamos, played for Caps United. Playing for those two teams alone just gives you that confidence and that strength, and you can walk in any other team and do it. I mean, Yomudadi is also a good midfielder.
Yeah, experienced as well.
Exactly. I think this lineup is equally good to take on Scotland.
But if you tell someone about a 4-4-2, it almost seems like they're defending.
Well, 4-4-2, KK loves his 4-4-2. I mean, you've got 4 midfielders and you've got 2 strikers. The other midfielders, they also combine, they end up attacking. When they're attacking, they end up also supporting the strikers. So technically, he's got 4 strikers up front.
4 strikers up front. Yeah. Obviously, and then would be seeing Scotland formation coming up soon. But from experience, we're definitely maybe going to see a 4-3-3 from how we set up against Dynamos last weekend.
From Scotland, yeah, probably. But with this type of a squad against Hardrock, I think they need to be cautious a little bit. They don't need to open up, because if you see when Hardrock are going forward, I think you've seen it last time when KK was with Dynamos. You would see they would have 5 players up front. Okay. Always when there's a cross, there's someone in the box. You know, unlike other teams, you know, they play only 4-4-2 without anyone going forward. But now you see you use more attacking-minded players on the wings. Like Mdadi is not a natural winger, but he has put him on the left side. He's trying to at least avoid them going forward, because if you see against Dynamos, Scotland capitalized on the wing-backs. The wing-backs were going forward.
And they were exploiting
yeah, they were exploiting, and then they add numbers. You know, because in midfield, as long Knowledge will play in midfield with Abubakar, okay, against this squad, I think you suffocate him as long he doesn't touch the ball. If he touches the ball, he's dangerous. But without the ball, they've got short numbers. You run a lot, you start defending a lot. But you can see the 4-4-2 is more effective formation ever. I think because, like we said, the 2 defensive midfielders, they'll be generating, one going forward, one staying. But I've seen with this setup, Bamara is likely to be joining forward. And of course, he is good in doing that. He does go, he carries the ball, he comes back, he receives, something like that. But I think it's a favorable formation for Hardrock. For Scotland, I'm not quite sure if they are going to use 4-3-3, it's going to be a lot, especially when they're defending, and if they are pressing Hardrock. If they press them when they are on a 4-3-3, obviously they will be outnumbering them.
Okay, and then Ofe, we were talking about how beautiful Chawanda Stadium is, considering it's a new stadium, 15,000 capacity, which means football is now alive in Kwekwe. Now let's talk about the pitch and how it's going to favor FC Platinum. Is it going to favor FC Platinum, or is it going to allow them to pass the ball as they do, as I'm talking about Scotland rather, with Norman Mapeza? Is it going to allow them to do that, or maybe it's a different setup altogether? Well,
when just having a look at the pitch from here where we are, I think any coach that loves to play a passing game will actually benefit from that stadium. And I think it's good for the Midlands, even for Hardrock themselves. They've been training on that park. For Scotland to be the first time playing on that park. But I think the way the park is, I think for the passing game, Norman Mapeza will definitely enjoy playing on that surface. Even Hardrock themselves, they'll enjoy playing the passing game, because KK loves to play a passing game too.
So it's going to be 2 teams who want to have so much of the ball on the ground. Let's talk about the interchange in play from FC Platinum, from Scotland rather. We saw against Dynamos how Machope was even playing as a shadow striker. Knowledge Msona coming in, Walter Msona coming in, Abubakar Moffat just darting forward. The interchange in play, is it going to cause any sorts of problems? Yeah,
usually it does, especially when you look at certain players. They used it against Dynamos. It made a lot of problems for Dynamos because they ended up following up.
Okay, so now we're going to continue with you. We're just going to go to cross over to the coaches who are going to be giving us their pre-match interviews before we get into the game. Seems to be transmission there, but we are going to be joining the coaches as soon as we are back on air. But before that, you were talking about how difficult is it going to be to just have players in that middle of the park. Back to the coaches now.
For us, looking at the atmosphere, and also the infrastructure that has been given to us to use. Despite the weather that shows a bit of rains in the morning, I think the field has been conditioned to withstand such kind of resistance. The game is able to be played, and we just hope the fans are going to enjoy what they're going to see today. Really, I think in terms of our health, Martin is not part of the team. He's the only player that was injured during our preseason and was not available for today's selection. But we've got people that are capable, obviously, to take up the responsibility. Being a big day, our debut game for us. Yes, we are coming from Division 1, but we want to also to establish ourselves. There's a lot in terms of expectation from the sponsor, from amongst ourselves, from the fans as well.
Yeah, good afternoon, you guys. Good afternoon, viewers back home. Massive stadium, massive stadium. I think we should applaud Mr. Chawanda for coming up with this massive initiative. Massive stadium. Massive stadium. Then coming into this game, it's the first game of the season. No, we are ready. We are ready. We know the challenge we're going to face this afternoon. We're playing a very quality side. Kain, a very good coach. I think in terms of football development, he has contributed much because what he's brought to our football. So I hope it's going to be a very good game. A very good afternoon. Yeah, look, we always go out there to make them happy. But in football, you never know. If things doesn't go well for us, they should keep pushing us because that's the nature of football. But we always try to play and make them happy.
So those are the two coaches at Chawanda Stadium. We're talking about Kevin Kayundu managing, that is a Hardrock, and Norman Mapesa. Didn't give too much about how they're going to be approaching the game, but one thing they did talk about is the massive facility. They kept on uploading the stadium. It means it's something that's big in Kwekwe and in Zimbabwe in football as well.
Yeah, it's very beautiful, and I think very good initiative from Kwekwe there. And I'm happy, they didn't take over Baghdad Stadium for a reason. It's because they're going to erase whatever they are trying to achieve, because there was another former Premier League team. Okay. They would carry on because of the stadium name. At least these guys, they built on from their own side, and they started building, and now they can make their own history. This is the best stadium, I think, in the whole country. Obviously, it's the best stadium, and it's very important. We are seeing it, and everyone is seeing the facilities.
Now we are seeing players come out of the tunnel, the dugout, and it seems to be going to be one of the biggest encounters for match day 1, with other games being played on Friday. Now the team in all red, Scottland, the defending champions, and in green and gold, Hardrock, the new team, debutants for this 2026 season's history in these last seasons, has given us new winners each and every time a league commences. Is it going to be the same man as we're going to be asking for predictions going into this game? Your predictions?
Well, for me, I think it will be a score or draw. Not sure it will be 1-1, but it will be a score or draw.
Draw. Chief?
Yeah, a soft spot for Hardrock. I played there in Kwekwe, so I'm going for a 1-0 at halftime for Hardrock.
1-0 at halftime. It means at the end of 90 minutes it could be a different story. Yeah. Coming in from Spencer Nyamadzao, or score, it could be 5-5, it could be 3-3, and from Chief Justice Majavi, 1-0 at halftime. We're going to be crossing over to Chawanda Stadium, where we are going to be seeing the first 45 when we're back for the halftime analysis. So please enjoy the game as we enjoyed giving it to you.
Scotland manager Peter Ndlovu, the legend, Zimbabwean football legend. Yeah, welcome to Chawanda Stadium, the first commentary that we do here in a magnificent stadium. The turf immaculate, the crowds have come in big numbers. Two teams with 1 point to prove, and that is to collect the maximum 3 points today. The two teams well sponsored, well taken care of, two teams well administered are here at Chawanda Stadium with 1 point to prove. As you can see, the referee for the afternoon, the well-traveled, trusted Brighton Chimene with Francis Chirwa, Polite Dube, Lloyd Mapanje as the fourth official, and the match commissioner for today is Edson Nkau. The two captains there, as you can see them walking off there for the two teams. It's exciting to watch this, the first game between Scotland and Hardrock, or Hardrock and Scotland. As you can see, the two team lineups: goalkeeper for Hardrock, Tonderai Mateaunga, Shelton Spanda, Tinotenda Muringai, Munyaradzi Diro, Mishek Gwenya, Munashe Bamara, Nelson Dlamini, Donald Mudadi, Sambulo Simelane, Washington Navaya, and Andrew Piri. Their coach, Kevin Kayindu, employing a 4-4-2 formation. Sitting it out on the bench are your substitutes, Elton Sibanda, and for Scotland, the goalkeeper, Nelson Chalga, Moses Shidolo, Gwaketwala, Kevin Moyo, Peter Mudua, Mtogozi Simseve, Abubakar Moffat, Emmanuel Ziocha, Walter Musona, the captain, Timon Machope, Knowledge Musona, and employing a 4-2-3-1 formation. Sitting it out on the bench there is Prince Tafire Muta, Blacks Makwinja, Owino Joshua, Kama Billiard, Abel Nyoni, Isaac Gurikap, Matthews Chiwerta. As you can see in your pictures, the home team, that's Hardrock, clad in yellow and a touch of green, and they are going to take the center. Our match analyst for today, Talubuhle Bebe.
Good afternoon, Pradev, and a good afternoon to all the viewers out there. Yes, we're at Chawanda Stadium, and guess what a fixture it is that we have. Hardrock versus Scotland. Hardrock, the new boys into football, but very flamboyant team, Pradev, if I may say.
Flamboyant in terms of the stadium, as you can see from the far end. What a beautiful stadium for those that watched and witnessed AFCON. You remember the Marrakesh Stadium as Brighton takes us over here at Chawanda Stadium. The first kick for 2026 PSL. Well, you can say whatever you want to say, but what stays is
we took a tour of the stadium before coming to the commentary box. As we see,
as Nelson Navaya will come through for Hardrock with a shot, but blocked away. As they come with a second one, blocked away. And that was the first effort of the afternoon for this afternoon. Well, Dalu, we could see some exciting stuff coming through, and Knowledge Musona being brought down in that a moment where Hardrock wanted to test the goalkeeper Nelson Chajga, as they will take it up now with Peter Mudua, formerly with Highlanders. Elvis Moyo, he was with Dynamos. And there you see Knowledge Musona in your pictures, as Peter Mudua will take it back to his goalkeeper Nelson Chajga. Quickly dispatches, but almost making a big mistake, and an infringement just outside the box. You can hear from the noise in the background. Nelson Dlamini from Eswatini is in the mix then, and in a minute Talubuhle will be giving us some of these foreign players for Hardrock, and also there you go, that infringement, as Hardrock was going for the kill. 3 players behind that free kick. Nelson Chajga organizes his defensive line made up of the likes of Kevin Moyo, Peter Mudua, Navaya behind it, and Nelson Dlamini. Neliswa Dlamini, is he the one who's going to take it? As that one is a wasted off effort over the bar, Dalu.
Yeah, what a beautiful stadium we have. And you know, one thing that I like about the stadium, as we see that shot there, I think he was supposed to lean over the ball. His
Not
technique
backwards.
there, yeah, not backwards. So when you do lean backwards, then you will skyrocket the shot. So he was supposed to lean over the ball and follow through, Pradev. Then he was going to get the height that he wanted, as we see Scotland attack for the first time.
As that shot came through, but they will pick it up through Sambulo Smelani to the back there. Another infringement. The player there on your pictures, and Elvis Moyo going there. Kevin Moyo rather just going there to say his apologies. And the player there is Andrew Piri, the Zambian, who was brought down, as Chimene will caution. As they come through now, first touch of the afternoon, but well read by Scotland as they win themselves. Free kick, offending member there, Munashe Bamara. Or rather, it was the man there, Munyana Zidiro. Scotland will take it. Remember, Scotland are the reigning champions of Zimbabwean football. And as they come through now, finding Peter Mudua. Peter Mudua still with the ball. Toys around, still trying to find options. As Peter Mudua still in possession again. Mseve comes in to try and pick it up. Finding Musona to Mseve. Brings it across, where he will find Gwaketwala. Kevin Moyo to Peter Mudua, who lets it out on the far side to find Shidolo. The captain fantastic, Musona to Peter Mudua, still in their own half, and this time they will go over the half, but cleared away from the back line by Hardrock. Will they be solid as a rock for that one? But is brought down, and Chimene will not have that free kick, Dalu.
Yeah, I think this ground really favors them, as we see that chest control there, and then the clip on the heel. Yeah, I think the referee wanted to play an advantage, but Mseve lost that advantage. So it is free kick, Scotland.
A free kick from Scotland to be taken on the far side by Knowledge Musona. We wait to see what he can do. That's Knowledge Musona, the silent assassin, coming through with that one. We wait to see what he does. Finally he does, executes in the box, but Hardrock clears. Musona still races, finding Kevin Moyo, who will shred it to his right, finding Togozi Simsebe still in possession. Back to Kevin Moyo, who will take it to Moses Shidolo on the far side. Dalibuhle, talking about foreigners, these two teams able to purchase as many players as possible. Maybe just looking at Hardrock, Dalu.
Yeah, well, Pradev, they have got Nelly Swadlamini from Eswatini putting on jersey number 15. They have Sambulo Simelani from Eswatini as well, putting jersey number 3. And then they've got Andrew Piri, the Zambian.
The Zambian, as Kevin Moyo from the back finds Peter Mudua. They're not in a hurry. I'm sure still trying to make sure that they settle well in this game. It's the first time the stadium has been used in a competitive match. And what a way to open it against Scotland, the champions of Zimbabwean football for 2025. It's a long shot, a long effort coming through, but Matea Wunga fails to hold clean. It's going to be the first corner kick of the afternoon, Dalu, to be taken by Scotland. 9 minutes we've played. Scoreboard still reading, Hardrock 0, Scotland 0. A corner kick to be taken from the far side. As you can see that action, Matea Wunga failing to keep it in play. That corner kick comes in. Matea Wunga, will he jump for it? Does quite well to parry it away. Musona comes in, finds his namesake player there, comes in, but Hardrock, are they solid as a rock? Yet to be seen. As they will bring it back into play, but a throw in on the far side, Dalu.
Yeah, well, Pradev, this ground favors the style of Scotland FC. It's a wide pitch, very flat, and it really accommodates them very well in terms of the passing game.
Just outside your pictures there, we saw Norman Mapeza, the gaffer at Scotland, formerly with FC Platinum. Still in 10 minutes, it's Hardrock 0 and Scotland 0 at Dalubushe.
Yes, and Scotland is really prescient in their build-up, just moving the ball very well. And guess what? Hardrock quite prepared for that kind of an attack as we see them go.
Almost conceding a penalty in that slippery pitch. A second corner kick in as many minutes to be taken by Walter Musona, far side. As Dalu was saying, they're patient in these build-ups and they want to make sure that they get it right. An early goal could upset Hardrock. Musona comes in, it's a beautiful one. Still dangerous, but cleared away and danger averted. And Scotland win themselves a free kick. Referee Brighton Chimene just awarding a free kick. It's not yet in a dangerous position, but it's there and they need to be very careful. And it's Peter Mudua who looks, or rather Shidolo, looks like he was pushed in that particular incident. And coming down there, Walter Musona, the captain, wants to have a go at that one. Looks like all the dead balls taken by the Musona brothers. Walter comes in with a grounder, but smoothed away by Hardrock. As Peter Mudoa will potok that one. Dalubushe.
Yeah, I think I'm very impressed with how Hardrock are shaping up, especially at the back. They are choosing to absorb all the pressure, and defensively they are very, very compact. But where I get worried is the clumsiness at times in terms of their challenges. But they do move the ball very well, Shelton Swander, for me, quite key in that right link.
As they try something, that's Scotland, Mcviravira against Hardrock. They call them the Kasongo boys. Still in possession, that is Hardrock. They will come to find Shelton Swander, trying something, Shelton Swander, but taken away by Scotland. They find Walter Msona back in their midfield. Msele, the crowd's loving it as Shidolo comes in, cuts in, beautiful work from him, but the final execution not so great, as Hardrock will regain their possession again. Dalu.
Yeah, Scotland seems to want to use the right channel all the time, really creating overloads where there is Chinotinda Muringai. And I think Hardrock are supposed to shift as a block so that they cancel the overloads on the right, because this is the route that Scotland wants to bring in. And Hardrock right now need to really shift as a block to avoid those penetration passes, Brad.
14 minutes played, Hardrock nil, Scotland nil, as Scotland now will attack. Still in with Machope, can he exit? Oh, Machope, Dalu! Almost causing an embarrassment for the home side.
Yeah, and you know what? In the defensive third, Hardrock are supposed to mark one-on-one. Look at the space that Machope has got there, and the orientation of the centre back. I think he was on the wrong side. He was not seeing the ball, Mieradzi Diro. He was supposed to give him or force him to the weaker foot, Pradev, so that it doesn't turn to the left. He was supposed to force him to turn to the right. Then he would have at least forced him to go to the left side.
As you can see, Kevin Kayundu coming through to be Hardrock's gaffer for this season. Was with Dynamos last season, helped them get off relegation.
Yeah.
Washington Navaya yet to come through in this game. Jalubushe, the leading goal scorer last year, Golden Boot winner last year, still 0-0 the scoreline here, Dalu.
Yes, but I think coming from an offside position there, Navaya.
Just talking about him, then
Yeah.
we see an offside position there, Dalu.
Yeah, talking of Navaya, I thought Hardrock were going to take the pair of Washington Navaya and Macheke, because that is the combination that gave us goals, with Macheke giving him most of the assists. So I thought they were going to take the pair, but anyway, they just took Navaya.
As they come through, that's Scotland trying to get something with the captain, but cleared away.
That's the clumsiness that I was talking about.
Very clumsy.
And you've got 2-3 players behind you, Pradev. Be patient with it. As you see, Shelton there was patient, but guess what? That push was not necessary.
Not necessary. These are some of the times that you end up missing out on the very important mistakes, and you concede, because this is still in a dangerous position. As we can see, Knowledge Musona, the silent assassin behind that free kick, Daluboshe. You don't want to be conceding free kicks, especially in the presence of Knowledge Musona.
And you know, they don't need to be conceding all these set pieces close to the goal area.
And Dalu talking about raising the bar. As you can see below, that cut, that takes care of players that are injured. Some innovation there. Knowledge Musona comes in with a beautiful one. It's almost goal. Oh! What a miss, Dalubushe.
What were the Hard Rock defenders thinking there?
Hardrock defenders.
Almost an own goal, brother.
Almost an own goal. A bit
panic.
of panic there.
Yes,
bit
panic.
of panic there. As you see
Look
it
at that
again.
thing. Diving header towards his own goal.
And once again, two defenders trying to score in their own goal. This is interesting. Could have been comical. Could have been very interesting as they clear their lines. 18 minutes yet to yield a goal. Dalu.
Yeah, but my worrying point is tactical combinations have not helped Hard Rock get into the final third. For me, Marvelous Chugumira is putting a lot of square passes, and this is why Scotland is able to intercept them in the middle of the park. He's supposed to pass that ball diagonally and into the space, because if he plays to the foot, then Scotland is always alert to pick it up.
As Mudua will take a long one to the far side, and Hard Rock not so clinical. Scotland missing out on an opportunity to have surged forward, as Navaya will come with the first touch. The home crowd loving it, but the defensive duo of Peter Muduo and Kevin Moyo are good to it. Dalu, one of the things that I do realize between the two teams, none of the two teams want to lose the ball unnecessarily.
Yeah, but you see the movement patterns of Scotland FC is really giving the back four of Hard Rock a torrid time. I think what Hard Rock needs to do is to assign defenders, especially in the defensive third. Then you give cover. Mnyarati Diro, we see he's being overloaded on the left side. So what needs to happen is,
This was another opportunity that goals are begging.
there is that pass that I was talking about.
Seve coming in.
They are very predictable, their passes, Pradev.
Definitely.
So-
Finding Shidolo, Moses Shidolo on the far side. To Kevin Moyo. Will bring it across to find Gwake Twala. That's man from Swaziland, Dalu.
Oh yes, very solid defense there. We saw it in the lineup. They claim to be playing a 4-2-3-1, but you and I know it's always a 3-5-2. Chugumira again.
Knowledge Musona, leaving it for Twala. Beautiful player, well composed, Dalubushe. As they will find Kevin Moyo, finding Abu Bakar, back to Kevin, to Abu Bakar Moffat, back to Kevin Moyo. Just not overawed the Scotland side, Dalubushe.
Yeah, but we always know that Nomen Mapeza is going to pass the ball and is going to open the pitch wide. So what that needs to do is to mark the spaces, Pradev. And they are preferring to be compact, and it's very easy then to beat by one ball if you are compact like that. But if you mark the passing lines, then you don't give Scotland much options, Pradev.
We don't give Scotland much chances. There were some talks, Dalubushe, of maybe would Mapeza change the sitting captain, but he has stayed with the man that is Walter Musona, making sure that nothing is disturbed in terms of the captaincy for the side, Dalu.
Yeah, look, you don't change a winning formula.
As Musona comes in, but his bigger brother, elder brother, was not too alert in that particular time as Sambulos Melani comes in with a long one. Noshington Navaya causing a threat. Kevin Moyo there heaving a sigh of relief. Throw in to be taken by Shelton Spanda, playing right back. What on earth was supposed to be happening? The crowds there, mostly Hardrock fans, as you can see them, not too sure how their side will fare this year, this season. At Dalubutla, we have hit the halfway mark for the first half. 24 minutes are played, and still Hardrock nil, Scotland nil, Dalubutla. The two teams still sizing themselves up, Dalu.
Yeah, but I'll give it to Scotland for the first 23 minutes that we have played. They've been really controlling the game. If you control possession, you control the game, Brad Dave. And Scotland, as soon as they get possession, they are losing it unnecessarily with predictive passes, with the long balls in the air. And they don't seem to be confident playing the ball on the ground, Brad Dave.
Not surprised that this man, Kevin Moyo, was one of the players that were chosen as soccer stars of the year last season. There's a long one come through now. And talking about Moyo, he will clear to Moffat Abubakar, brought down there by Donald Mudadi. Wins a free kick. That's Moffat Abubakar Dalu.
I think the Scotland team lacks a creative attacking midfielder, the traditional number 10. Because if you look at the kind of service that Navaya is getting, not really his type of service that one would want.
As that free kick is quickly taken, beautiful 10 there by the man from Eswatini, swings in across, but Matea Unga is equal to the tasker.
And they are trying to use the right side where Shelton Swanda becomes their ball carrier. But it doesn't make sense for a right back to be the ball carrier, Brad Dave. When Chigumira is there, he is supposed to be the ball carrier because as a midfielder, he's supposed to have a good pass.
As we see that long one, and they win a free kick. That is Hardrock after Sambulos Melani. The man from Eswatini seemingly brought down, and we wait to see who's going to take that free kick. It's quickly taken. Smelani failing to execute. Oh, Dalubushe, goalkeeper does quite well, Mateaunga, to come off his line in that particular area. As now Hardrock will pick it up from the left side. Can he cut in? Tries to dribble through past one man and falls under the challenge of Scotland there. Scotland there almost caught snapping Dalu.
Yeah, but his run was wrong. The choice of his run was wrong. There was a sea of red in front of him. As we see him towards the Simsebe brought down there. As I was saying, there was a sea of red in front of him. But hey, that's a clumsy challenge from Chigumira. Bamara, actually.
Bamara there.
Yes.
As they come
almost
through now,
having a fame.
We wait to see how they are going just to recoup themselves there. Peter Mudua taking it from the back line. He comes through still with Peter Mudua, who's still in attendance in that particular area. Scotland holding champions, defending champions of Zimbabwean football. Looks like every much of the moves from the back there, Dalubushe, coming from Peter Mudua from the back, seems to be initializing as many of those places.
You see, there's a very big movement from Hardrock. What they need to do is they are not supposed to allow Scotland to start that play, because if you allow Scotland to then get the ball, you'll be in trouble, Pradev.
Maybe, Dalule, we just come into a situation we were discussing earlier on in terms of the type of shoes you bring to such a pitch. As you could see now in our pictures, that the pitch just lifting up a bit there, Dalu.
Yeah, and look, I basically prefer the turf like the Luveve Stadium turf, which is more compact. But for now, well, this is what the turf is at Chawanda Stadium. So this kind of turf is a turf that allows a passing ball. As you see, the changes of direction really bringing a lot of damage to the pitch, Pradev. An update of a game played earlier. Telwan getting the better, losing to Dynamos by 2-1. And then Cape United leading Agama by 1-0. Manika Diamonds and Simba Bora 0-0 at the moment. And then Highlanders versus Bulawayo Chiefs at Beverfield Stadium 0-0. And here at Chawanda Stadium, we're still at 0-0 as we see that cross, Pradev.
A wicked one. Hardrock needs to be watching this, Jalu, because this is the second time that we see something like that happening close to their backline. That backline is a bit suspect as far as I'm concerned in the 30 minutes that we have played, Jalu.
Yeah, organizationally they are not okay, Pradev. And even look at how they want to defend that corner. Standing inside the 6-yard box does not mean you are defending.
It's the third corner kick that they are taking through their Walter Musona. Acknowledge Musona. Blistering one, cleared away, but not so quite. As Moffat comes in, Abu Bakar, but Dalubushe maybe a bit too much power there.
Yeah, even wrong technique, Pradev. Like I said, when you hit those balls, you're supposed to lean over the ball, lock the ankle, follow through. Well, the follow through was there, but he was supposed to lean over. He was actually leaning back. When you lean back, then the ball will always rise. So it's very difficult to get the shot on target. But for Hardrock, their style of play is very readable. We know they are going to go to try and play the ball on the right. So Scotland is just waiting for that pass, and then they intercept it.
And they intercepted Dalubushe after 0-0 there. Confirmation of the scoreline, Dalu. Referee Chimene has done absolutely quite well as expected. As once again, having played 31 minutes, still not 0-0. Beautiful play from Scotland as they come through now with Moses Msebe. Mchogozi Msebe coming through, finding Peter Mudua, man who is initialing as many of those chances coming through. And some bit of rain coming through here. Still coming. That's Museve finding Machope. Machope turning. Is brought down and the referee says play on. This is Navaya now. Can he take on 3 men? Navaya on an attack. Comes in with a cross. And this one goes to no man. And it's going to trickle out for a throw in on the far side. Kama Billiard in your pictures there. Poster boy at Scotland. Once again, that needless pass across from Navaya trickling out for a throw-in for Scotland on the far side.
Yeah, his problem is he was looking down, Pradev. He could not see his teammates inside the box. So the quality of the cross that he brought in was not the best of crosses.
The heavens opening up here at Chawanda Stadium. Maybe it's a blessing for the stadium. As you can see, Scotland attacking. Scotland with Machope. Too slow there, Machope. And once again, clumsy play from Hardrock defensively, Dalu. As you can see there in your pictures, the rain's pounding Chawanda Stadium. And Scotland will come through. The pitch still playable. And Hardrock will take it up. Shelton Spanda, back heels, does quite well. Hardrock really finding it a bit difficult, especially defensively, Dalu.
Yeah, Pradev, they don't seem to have a very clear strategy.
As they attack now, Hardrock from the left. Nelson Chadga does quite well, Dalu.
First catch of the ball, Pradev.
He is the first for the afternoon.
First catch of the ball after 33 minutes.
As they come through on the far side with Wake Twala. That ball again from Chadga. But still you could see Twala was lacking on the far side, not posing too much danger for Scotland, Dalu.
Yes, but my worry is they want to run with the ball in that final third. How about tactical combinations to unsettle the defense? Because if you just come running, it's very easy for the defense to deal with you because they'll just close those options. But with tactical combinations, they'll never know how the ball movement is going to go. But they are making it so easy for Peter Mdua. Remember the experience that he has, Kelvin Moyo as well. So there are no pushovers. You really need to bring your A game for you to penetrate that defense.
Nelson Chadga dispatches a long one. As they come through, Hardrock again with a shot. But Nelson Chadga, this was a tame effort. The second time he's had to save Dalubushe.
Yeah, but that's a positive thing is they're now getting into that final third and they're forcing the keeper to at least be active in this game. They probably had this kind of a strategy to absorb the pressure and then maybe in the last 15 minutes of the game really go at Scotland. Probably taking notes from the 5-0 drubbing of Dynamos. They did not want to really open up the defense.
As they come again, Hardrock through Smelani Sambulo on the far side here at Dalubushe. And almost the first corner kick for them this afternoon, but it went out for a goal kick, Dalu. And 36 minutes we've played, Hardrock 0 and Scotland, the visitors, 0. As Peter Chadga there, or rather Peter Mudua off the picture, but Nelson Chadga, the goalkeeper at Scotland, formerly with Ngezi Platinum Miners. Long one dispatched just past the center line. A header from Knowledge Musona. As far as Matea Ungwa, Diro coming now for Hardrock. Hardrock still to contend with this one, Dalu.
Yeah, and Mishak Ngwenya for me, really solid at the back, trying to contain that Scotland attack. But now Hardrock really increasing the intensity of going forward, Brad Dave. Maybe
Right.
changing strategy in the last 10 minutes.
But still Abubakar Moffat. But a stray pass, Dalu. as Dalu was saying, we're beginning to see a bit of much positivity from Hardrock, as Matea Unga will find that is Mishek Gwenya. Hardrock seem to be getting into the game. Confirmation of an earlier kickoff. Tel 1 going down 1-2 to Dynamos Football Club. Caps United 1-0 leaders against Agama, and Manika Diamonds 0 and Simba Bora 0 so far, while Bulawayo Chiefs have taken the lead at Baba Full Stadium against Highlanders. "38 minutes here back at Chawanda Stadium. Once again, confirmation of the earlier kickoff, full-time Dynamos visiting Tel 1. Just a bit of background, Dalubushe, to that game. Was supposed to be played yesterday, but because the pitch got so waterlogged, they could not play, and PSL, in their wisdom, decided to bring this game forward to today, as Machope in the box, but failed to connect. Dalubushe there. An opportunity for Machope. Could have done better there, Dalu.
Oh, most definitely. Look at that pass from Musona. Pinpoint pass. And unfortunately, his footwork there was not good enough.
But once again, Dalubushe, watching the defensive work there, not so impressive.
I think for me, the culprit was Marvelous Chukwumira with his square pass. That is where the ball was intercepted, and unfortunately, most of his teammates were advanced. That is why you saw him apologizing there.
Well, Dalu, we're still talking about the game yesterday, and then Tel 1 team of their workers worked hard the whole night to scoop the water out, and eventually that game was played around 11 this morning, Dalubushe. As they come through now with the man Shelton Spanda, can he execute a beautiful cross? Chadga almost falling to retrieve that one, but now he's being called into action, Dalubushe.
Oh yes, and the hard-working Shelton Spanda, working that right link very well from right back. But also, I think Iwake, for me, he has a good pass for Dave. And he's got a football brain.
So I'm sure, Dalubushe, just before we go to the halftime mark, which is just 5 minutes away, and that is waiting for the added time, we will talk about the effectiveness of the foreign players that we have seen so far. But this long ball eluding the man that was on the attack, that's at Gwake Twala, doing quite well to have an overlap there to Alubushe. As we could see, that one could, if he had been a bit faster, then it would have been something else. 41 minutes played in the first half, Dalubushe. As you can see, Kama Billiard in your pictures, and of course the other player being Tinashe Mtimbanyoka as well. They were warming up there in your pictures.
Yeah, probably they are going to be second half substitutes. Seeing maybe that Machope and Musona are not really getting those shots at goal. As
Navaya will steal that one, they will come attacking with Sibanda. Comes in, crosses, but to no avail, as Knowledge Musona will do quite well, finding his young brother, who then tries to flick it. That could have been something else. But Hardrock finding Navaya with a blind pass there on the far side.
Shidolo reading it very well there.
Doing quite well, finding Knowledge Musona, but the far assistant are judging that somebody was offside there. Brighton Chimene, the referee for the day, doing quite well there, Dalu. And of course, Hardrock got into the game after about 25 minutes. Before then, Scotland was all over them as Hardrock will concede a throw in on the near side, closest to your cameras there. And Shelton Smanda apologizing for not being able to get to that one. Abubakar.
Yeah, Hardrock getting into this game now and still not really getting into the final third, Brad Dave.
It's been a long time since they've been there. Twala finding Mudua. They come now attacking on the right side. Beautiful cross, Matewunga! Wow! Wow! What an opportunity! Knowledge Busona are judging that there was something that could have happened. Shelton Smanda on the ground there, Dalubushe. That cross again. There. Beautiful. Matewunga could not hold clean on the second ask. He could not hold clean. Knowledge Msona also failing to put it behind the net. Well. Frailties of that defensive team there, Dalu, for Hardrock.
I think the goalkeeper was supposed to punch it with both fists, not try and catch it. Remember, it was raining just a few minutes ago. So yeah, it would be safer to punch the ball as we see the board coming up there. 1 minute of optional time minimum that's going to be added in the first half.
The beauty about this game, Jalu, we have not seen so many injuries coming through as a sliding tackle there comes in from the man there. That is Dlamini Neliswa, the Eswatini man. He's worked hard, his socks off. So 45 minutes we've played. We wait for that 1 minute injury time. Kevin Kaindu, Hardrock Gaffer, and some of the Hardrock supporters there in your pictures. Just that confirmation of that added 1 minute. Brighton Chimene has been receiving assignments from CAF, FIFA qualified referee, certified referee. He has had a good outing. Referee of the year as Nelson Chajga finding Peter Mdua, who finds Shidolo on the far side. According to our time, it's 45 minutes of the opening half, but Hardrock will come with an opportunity there, not so emphatic as the referee Brighton Chimene will blow to end the first 45 minutes. Dalubushe quickly before we go to our studios. The end of 45 minutes.
Yeah, look at that ball that Navaya tried to receive. Poor touch, Pradev. But quite a balanced affair. The first 25 to 30 minutes I'll give it to Scotland. And then the last 15 I'll give it to Hardrock. Confirmation of the scoreline there.
The confirmation of the scoreline, Hardrock nil, Scotland nil. As you can see, the referees going out there. And this wraps up the first half. And we go back to our studios as we see that confirmation of the first half. 0-0, Hardrock 0, Scotland 0.
First 45 ends at a stalemate. No goals have been scored so far between these two teams. The debutants, Hardrock, playing against defending champions Scotland. 0-0 it is how it ends after 45 minutes. Maybe it was a game of two halves, or a game of two teams competing. The first minutes maybe went to Hardrock. The later stages of the game, Scotland, and then the later stages of the half as well, then went into Hardrock. Is that a fair assessment of the half?
Well, it's a fair assessment of the first half, and also being the first game, it's always difficult, you know. Players are trying to also get in the mood and also trying to gel themselves. Coaches are also trying to set up their approach on a cautious approach, not wanting to lose the game. But I think coming into the second half, we should see a better game. But like you rightly put it across, I mean, the first 5 minutes belonged to Hardrock. Then we saw Scotland dominating in terms of bossing around the middle of the park. I think Abubakar doing a great job of winning all the loose balls and not allowing Hardrock to play. Then the last 50 minutes of the game, Hardrock came off the shell and they started doing well going forward, and they had a couple of chances they would have easily scored. But I think a good first half of football, and we had to see who will break the ice in terms of scoring the first goal at Chawanda Stadium.
And then not so many chances created in this half, with only Hardrock restricted from shooting from distance. Shows you how compact maybe that back line is for Scotland. Chances creation, not really something we have seen so far in this first half for either side. Scotland came close with a free kick, almost an own goal at some point. That could have been an opener.
Yeah, I think it's also coming into, like Spencer said, it's the first game. The nerves are still there. You know, the players are still, I'm going to make the first goal and so forth. But I would see there's no clear-cut chance from both ends. But I've seen, it seems like Scotland, you know, when they get into the box, they want to be too smart. They're trying to, as well, try to take another touch. Maybe you saw it on Machope. He controls very well, then takes another touch. But instead, he should have shoot. Maybe they could be leading. Yes, here and there, you can see the
statistics on the board.
Yeah.
Scotland with 4 as compared to Hardrock. This shows how much maybe the defending champions are trying to get on the scoreboard, but not clear-cut as you're putting it across.
Not clear-cut like Jassy has just mentioned, but I think the game is open, and I think the first half we didn't really see the strikers. Even Walter Msona didn't get enough balls in the opposition box. Same with the Navaya. He also didn't get enough chances in the opposition box. So I think the midfield is compact. It's a battle of the midfield, and both coaches really knowing that a game of football is all in the midfield, and they're really compact in the midfield, not allowing each other to play. So it's really making it difficult for strikers to get the ball. And at one stage, you saw Navaya on his own up front. Yeah. When he crossed the ball, there was no one. So I guess the play is happening around the midfield of the park.
And then when we talk about bossing the midfield, Scotland did make a very impressive acquisition in Abubakar Moffat, the man who has stood out so far in the first 45 minutes. He's the man who has been controlling the tempo for both teams. If it's defending, he's taking all the balls in the middle of the park and he's orchestrating the play. What a signing so far.
I think Moffat, he does his job very well. You know, for a central midfielder, you must be fierce. You know, really, really tough. He's such a player. You can see the way he wins the ball. He comes in, he's very aggressive, and also decision making is very good. He has got a reach. Also the passing is very good for him. He controls very well, and only now know what he needs. I think he's doing well.
Yeah, but we're talking about how much he's been doing well, but let's look at those opportunities. The first chance of the game, it was a free kick at the edge of the box, which we thought was going to set precedence of whatever was going to happen. How did they not capitalize on that chance?
Well, I think it's one area our game is still lacking behind in terms of working on set pieces. I think, I mean, if you look at us now, people are saying they're playing ugly football, scoring from set pieces. But I think we have to work on that and try and score as we see those chances for Scotland. So, again, another free kick considered. Knowledge Msona there with the effort, and the goalkeeper almost peeling the ball. Lucky for him, his defender was there. And
defensive disaster from Hardrock there.
That almost went in as the own goal against panic, pandemonium in the box there.
And then Msebe, could have maybe put Scotland ahead with that one. How did he not capitalize?
At this moment, it's quite difficult. You can see this was almost another one. Oh,
Good defense work there from
Defensive experience,
Scotland.
yeah,
I
we were
think
talking about.
Calvin Moore doing well. I think for me also the first half, I think the referee was blowing the whistle too much.
Too
I think.
much.
Yeah, there was too much whistle. Let the game flow. This is a men's game, and as we see another chance.
There are a lot of things and factors into this game.
Yeah.
You spoke about the referee. So many fouls he was giving in. Some of them it's 50-50. There wasn't
Yes.
any need.
Yeah.
And at the same time, look at the status of the pitch. It's quite good. It's quite interesting to see a nice pitch like this. But the surface looks slippery.
It
Yeah,
does.
it's a little bit heavy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that chance there from Scotland and Nelson. That's Matiaunga not doing himself any good there. I mean, you were talking off air. He was almost scored on a similar position.
Yeah, of course. Before, because he was under the bar, you couldn't pair it the way you wanted to do it. He was just like that. The ball, I think because of the rain, the ball is a little bit more heavier. He failed to at least even let it stay in his palm. But if he had tried to put it over the bar, it was going in.
He
on its
was
own.
going to
Yeah,
spill
was
it in his
going
own
to
net,
spill
yeah.
it in his own net.
Yeah.
But that was a glorious chance for Scotland. I think they should have capitalized with this mistake. Nobody was anticipating. You can see in the last moment, Knowledge trying to shoot. Instead, the player is sleeping. Let him sleep. There was no way. The only best way the defender was going to do was to make
pull
a
him.
cross.
Yeah.
He was going to pull. He was going to make a cross again into the chaos. So I think he just needed to be patient enough, steal the ball, make sure, put it on the right side, then try to place it.
And then we are looking at the conditions of the pitch. The surface is something that you talked about. Now we see that Nomen Mapeza and the way that he plays is synonymous with passing it on the ground, even Kevin Kayindi as well. And something that we've seen in the first 45, the ball is difficult to move.
Well, I think we talked about off air. I think the pitch, as much as it's a beautiful stadium, I think the pitch also, they need to trim down the lawn, maybe cut it and have a roller go over the turf, make it compact. But I think I would like to believe, I could be wrong, I would like to believe it's a deliberate play to not allow Scotland
Frustrate your opponents.
Exactly, so that they cannot come and play the passing game.
You agree with the sentiments?
Yeah, it can be, but only that I'm not happy about the pitches. The pitches are moving off. That's another thing. Yes, having heavy grass can be added advantage to Hardrock because Scotland is not articulating more of their style of play we saw against Dynamos. So because the ball is slow and also the players are being drained, you can see some of them they don't want to run anymore because of the rain, because of the surface is heavy. But the pitches are going off. It seems like if you play like against other teams, which has got much more players who involve into tackles and so forth, the whole pitch will be open. So now it's another thing. But you can see it's here and there it's trying to flow, but the other potentials is not. You can see that he didn't play because this surface is difficult for him. He's quite good, especially controlling the ball, moving and so forth, but he cannot do it in this pitch. It's difficult, yeah, very difficult.
Very difficult pitch indeed. Now we want to look into the last 45. They do say the first 45 is for the players, the last is for the managers. Now coming to you, Spencer, if you were Kevin Kayindu, looking into your 4-4-2 system, looking into how Abu Bakar has been pulling that midfield, what were you going to change? What are the tweaks you need to change to bring Navaya into the game, to bring all your best players into the game? Because it's been difficult in the first 45.
Well, I think you'll be very happy with the way the team finished the game. I mean, they finished the game on the front foot. That's one positive thing. I think you'll be very happy. In the second half, maybe you can just ask the players to continue the way they finished the last 15 minutes. Of course, he's got able players on the bench, the likes of Kolan Ndlovu. He can come in and he's also a good midfielder. They've got Junior Makunike. He's also one very good player who can come in and carry the day for Hardrock. So I think in terms of personnel on the bench, they've got quite good personnel to match Scotland and try and change the game. And I think the 4-4-2 that they were playing if they can continue playing that.
So no need to change the setup.
No need to change the setup. Just get more bodies when you're attacking. Get more bodies in the box so that you can increase your chances of scoring.
Okay, and then for Nomer Mapeza, the passing game has been quite difficult due to the conditions off the pitch. Now, to you, Chief, you are a man who likes quick football, and quick football is something that we have been deprived of. Nomer Mapeza, if you were a fly on the wall, what will you change?
No, you have got a big man up front there. You've got Machope. Sometimes improvise. You change your tactic. You know, just bring in, let him stay alone there, maybe with supporting players. There's Mswebe who can do the dirty work, Knowledge push him up front. Just launch the ball high for Machope to drop in for Knowledge Msona, who is very, very clinical in terms of finishing. So I think it will be better for them rather than stay with your own usual formation. That is not helping enough going forward, because the pitch is restricting them a lot, so you just need to change it in some way, somehow. You can see it, I think it might be waking up for them, because you see the two CBs for Hardrock, they're not that tall, they're short. So use Machope as an added advantage. You've got an advantage. High ball, just drop it for upcoming midfielders. Fall up, then you can shoot.
Yeah, and then Ziocha.
Yeah,
very creative player, but we haven't seen so much of him in the first 45.
No, we haven't seen so much of him. I think it's because of the midfield. It's so compact. So I think what both teams need to do, try and get the ball wide and play with width. Get the ball wide so you can get crosses in the box and at least open up in the middle where there was too much congestion. So I think if they can open the middle of the park by going wide, I think we can see a better game in the second half. Because right now the game is compressed in the middle of the park, and it's one pass already. There's a defender marking. One pass, the defender marking. So I think let's get wide, get width, and try and play from the flanks and try and get the wingers in the game. And that way you can also get crosses in the box, and the strikers who are starved of clean balls up front can get more balls up front.
And then our footage there from Chawanda players already on the pitch. Quick predictions, Spencer.
I'll still maintain a score draw.
Score draw. And Chief?
You know, my halftime scoreline is gone, but I think Hardrock, if they continue the way they did in the last few minutes before halftime, they can get a goal. A 2-1 for them. It will be not bad for a start. I think so.
Okay, so 2-1 for the debutants from Chief Justice, and a score draw. It could be 5-5, it could be 3-3, it could be 2-2 from Spencer Nyamadzao. So switching over to Chawanda, where we are going to leave it for the commentators and the players to give us the last 45.
So welcome to the second half, and it's Hardrock 0, Scotland 0. The start of the second half, no changes at Dalubushe. Hardrock at least doing something defensively. As we come through now, Hardrock taking the initiative in the second half. Player brought down the referee. Chimene says play on, and they continue to play on with Pamara, but the referee will say let's stop that. And that free kick to be taken there. Well, it's been an interesting first half, where we saw 60% possession for Scotland and 40 going to Hardrock. And we wait to see that free kick there now. There's Musona, there's Msebe. They come through now. But this one, too much power, Dalubushe. from Mnyaradzi Diro.
Yes, still making the same mistakes. The technique of kicking the ball, Pradev, I don't think at this level we are supposed to be talking about such things.
And once again, Dalu, we come and we're watching at least the good crowd there. As you can see there, Scotland, a crowd on the far side. Scotland now attacking. As you can see, some of the dignitaries, including the match commissioner, Edson Kau, and Scotland finding Tamon Machope. And that one will trickle out for a goal kick, Dalubutle. Well, we're just talking about the crowds that have come through, exciting Dalubutle in terms of the numbers, and also on our closer to where the commentary box is, almost full, except where your pictures are. No one has been allowed to be sitting there, and that is the southern part of the stadium. Now Hardrock attacking the northern side as Peter Mudua will clear it out for Scotland, Dalubushe from the back.
Now Hardrock moving the ball a bit better, but still that finer pass not really coming through.
Shelton Spander with a long one, finding Donald Mudadi, back to Bamara, to Mudadi. They're controlling things here.
Getting that confidence.
That slippery trip as Machope will come. And what a save from Mateo Unga Dalubushe.
Well read by Mateo Unga. What Machope needed to do was just hang on to the ball a bit.
As Scotland will still come in, Dalu, but cleared away, but not so quite. Now they'll take it away. That is Hardrock, Dalu. Riding a flurry of attacks there, Dalu.
Andrew Piri,
the Zambian. Brought down, but the referee says, let's play on, let's get on with this one, Dalubushe. They'll take it from the back. That's Hardrock earning themselves a throw in on the near side, Dalu.
Muringai, his channel being used in the first half, and it seems Scotland still wants to use that kind of channel. So it's going to be working very hard as Scotland are preparing to make a substitution, Brade.
Interesting to see who will be coming out, but would not be surprised if Knowledge Msona, or rather it's if Kama Billiard is going to be coming in this half, at least to play 45 minutes or so, as Moringai will come now. Miscue taking it back to Ngwenya. Mateo Unga spreading it wide on the far right. At least, Dalu, we can see the two teams using the width of the pitch as well. But of course, we saw a lot of that from Scotland earlier on.
Yeah, and Kelvin Kaino's style and Nomen Mapeza, almost similar styles. They want to keep possession and really use the width of the pitch. But Scotland usually does it better, Brade.
Does it better. Machope there. First touch, good. Msebe. Abubakar Moffat. Back there. Manuel Ziocha. But Navaya comes in, Dalubushe with a shot, but doesn't give Chachga any problems, Dalu.
Yeah, well taken shot. I think it was a bit far. If only had taken 2 or 3 more steps, you would have gotten the dip into that ball. There.
And also, once again, Dalu, talking about that technique,
yeah,
his body was leaning backwards as well, instead of attacking the ball into it, Dalu Bushe.
Yeah, because you're supposed to say chest down, you lock the ankle, then you take the shot.
As they now continue with Machope, he's just come a bit too deep down, finding Abu Bakr, but miscued that pass. Initiative, Hardrock, Navaya, back to Mringai, now on the far side. Final execution on the final third. Not so great. It's Kevin Kaindu still giving instructions there.
Yeah, that final pass eluding Hardrock. We are seeing a change of strategy in the second half, Dave.
Definitely, yeah.
So they were absorbing the pressure in the first half. They really wanted to see how Scotland are going to play. And it seems they've read it well. Now they want to play as well.
And Scotland also going to make some changes. A double substitution that we most probably will see from them. Obviously, yes. Dalu, maybe that 5-0 drubbing of Dynamos sent tongues wagging, Dalu.
Yeah, most definitely. And you know what, Scotland sensing danger already. They want to make sure that they get that goal, that insurance goal. Hence, they are warming up of billiards outside. As we see Kama Billiard there,
he's coming
getting
in
ready to come in.
Machopa.
And Mutimba Nyoka, previously from FC Platinum.
Timba Nyoka coming in, Dalu. And it looks like Emmanuel Ziocha also coming out, Dalu Bushe.
Yeah, Ziocha had a quiet game, Dave. But what I don't understand is why is Msebe playing to the right of midfield? Why not directly behind the strikers? Because he is your traditional number 10, Dave.
Well, definitely, as Mudua now will come, finding Shidolo to the new man, that's Mtimba Nyoka. Shidolo fails to save that throw in, Dalu.
Hardrock really want to play the second half, Dave.
They're in it this time. Remember, these are the two highly fancied teams as well in the league. There's also Moors. When we're talking about some of the teams that could maybe land the championship, Scotland will always be in the matrix. So will be Hardrock, so will be Moors. But this year, do not discount Caps United, as they've played quite well and they've assembled a good team for this year. As we see a throw in, or rather some infringement there.
Yes, Bamara got a knock from Timba Nyoka.
Looks like the man that's going to take that. Free kick, at least Dalubushe, Hardrock getting into the final third.
Yeah, it's now Scotland on the back foot, Dave. So I think it was a strategic move for Hardrock to absorb the pressure in the first half.
And they did it well. If this game stays that way, obviously it will be courtesy of the strategies that Kevin Kaindo has brought. And as we see an infringement there, and Navayas having a tear-tear with Peter Mutua. Chadga used to have lots of theatrics when it turned out for Ngezi Platinum. As the man Shidolo Moses running long breadth of the pitch, Knowledge Musona finding Timbanyoka on the right side. Tries to come in with a cross, fails the first ask. Brings it down to Msebe. Msebe to Abubakar. Back to Msebe. To Shidolo. Shidolo finding Timbanyoka, but not so quite. As they win a throw-in. That is Scotland. About to get to the another substitution. Coming out is Andrew Peary, and it looks like Wilfred Manzungu coming in for Andrew Peary, the Zambian. Andrew Peary and Donald Mudadi coming out. Samuel Makawa comes in. Dalubutle, when you look at those substitutions, what's your reading in terms of what Kevin is trying to execute now?
Obviously, looking for that elusive goal. But I think Andrew Peary was doing very well.
I thought so too.
What a
Beautiful
catch.
play there from Matea Wunga.
Now Knowledge Msona being pushed up front there, taking the number 10 role, Pradev.
As Mtimbanyoka will come through now to Shidolo. Moses does quite well. To a neck dribbling. As Shidolo. Walker on ready to the left side of his attack. Coming down to Mseve. Beautiful exchanges as Mutua will cross over to have a hand in the attack.
Wow.
Beautiful play to Mtimbanyoka. Wow.
Now we have a game in our hands.
Definitely, Dalu.
Now the game is living up to the expectation.
Knowledge Msona. Stopped in his tracks there. No, it's a bit excessive from Knowledge Msona.
Yeah. Orientation, Pradev.
1 hour mark that we have reached. Hardrock 0, Scotland 0. And just to give you the confirmations of the earlier kickoff, the 11 o'clock kickoff, Tel 1 going down to Dynamos 2-1. Caps United and Agama 1-0. Manik Diamonds, Simba Bora 0-0. Highlanders 0. Bulawayo Chiefs 1. Those are the games that are being played today. The score updates coming through here in the 61st minute. The rain coming down as Washington Navaya earns himself a yellow card from the referee Brighton Chimene. Sometimes it's not really necessary, Dalu, to remonstrate when you've been given a yellow card by the referee.
Yeah, but you know, these players need to be taught some of these things. No matter how much you remonstrate, it will not change the decision. As we see a bit of moisture drizzling. So now you are supposed to move the ball, not you running, because there's no traction.
As the referee says, let it continue. Navaya there, the recipient of the yellow card in your pictures. Shidolo for Scotland. To Abubakar. Now we are seeing an evenly matched contestation here at Dalubutle.
Yeah, like I said, the game is now living up to expectation. But you see how deep Mseve is. For me, I think he's supposed to be up front there. Because he's got the pass, he's got the creativity. Peter Mtua and Kelvin Moyo, quite solid at the back with Kwake. So I don't think they do need that kind of a cover from Umsebe.
Definitely should be pushing up there, as Peter Mdua has had much of the touches, as Shidolo now finding young Mtimbanyoka still in. Mtimbanyoka does quite well, Dalubuhle. With Msebe, Shidolo on the attack with a chance for Scotland. Still in, Shidolo still in possession, and they will end themselves a throw in. That is a Scotland. Norman Mapeza seem to be finding it a bit difficult to breach that defensive wall. That was a bit anxious in the first half. Once again, our confirmation of this scoreline: Hardrock 0 and Scotland 0, Dalubuhle. Well, we have seen the changes, but I'm not too sure if the changes that have been made, Dalubuhle, are giving an impact into this game.
I think probably they are looking for those half chances because Kama Billiard is a sure-footed striker. So maybe the chances that were falling for Machope, if they were to fall for Billiard, Scotland would probably score. But Hardrock really hard as a rock at the back.
They've corrected their frailties of the first half, Dalubuhle. Navaya under lock and key so far. As you can see, the rain's pounding and the fans seeking shelter as they come through now with Mtimbanyoka, but it's taken away only as far as Shidolo. And chance for Scotland with Mtimbanyika again, and they get themselves fifth corner kick. That is Scotland, Dalubuhle. This was an opportunity for them, Dalu.
Look at that cross there. As he was rising, gets good contact with the ball. Brilliant save from the keeper. And you know what? Solid defense.
But Mtimbanyoka should have lifted that effort. Corner kick number 5 for Scotland. As you can see, Knowledge Msona comes up, but cleared away, but not so quite. Back to Knowledge. Comes in with a beauty again, but solid as a rock is that defense.
Sleeping on duty there.
That has come up. Navaya comes in now. Still Navaya. Back to Navaya. Scotland has recovered. A tame attempt again by Navaya. Dalubuhle, beauty about it. Play is swinging from one side to the other now.
Yeah, but Navaya is not supposed to be the ball carrier, Pradev. He is supposed to be the finisher in the box. So he gets compromised if he has to carry the ball. That's why earlier on I had said they should have taken Macheke and Navaya, because Macheke at tail 1 was the ball carrier and Navaya was the finisher.
The finisher there is Kama Billiard, will come to contact with the ball in as many minutes. Peter Mudua for Scotland. Shidolo. Chimene, the referee, finding a bit of excessive power there from Scotland, awarding Hardrock a free kick, Dalubuhle.
Yeah, end-to-end action that we were seeing. And like we said in the first half, this turf allows any style of play that you want. Though the ground seems, the turf seems to be getting a beating in the middle of the park.
Mainly because of the rains that have come into the city of Kwekwe. Yesterday it also was hard rains that came through, but today the game was played, which we thought wasn't going to be played. Knowledge Msona coming in, trying to find Kama Billiard. Some bit of miscommunication there, Dalubusha.
Yeah, but for the goalkeeper, I think he wasn't supposed to come out there.
It was well covered.
Yes, the defender was on the ball side, and that was a bit safe, so he wasn't supposed to come out. I think panic for the young man, Tonderai.
Tonderai Matea Wunga sensing danger in coming out of his goal line. Mutua, Shidolo, back to Mutua, dictating the pace. Mseve, the long one. Not so great from Kevin. Second ask in the box.
What
wow.
A cross. What a cross from Wake.
Wake bringing in a cross. That cross again.
Substitution time for Hardrock FC. Jersey number 3,
Sambulo
Sambulo Selemani.
Selemani.
By jersey number 22.
Looks like we have to see a substitution there. Nigel Martina. That confirmation of that substitution.
Both teams looking for that elusive goal, Pratev.
Beautiful play from Hardrock. Abubakar.
What a player he is.
Beautiful play.
What a player he is.
As you can see, the ruckus, rouse of noise from the supporters didn't like for that free kick to be given. As you can see, the great supporters that have come in here to watch this one at Dalubushe. As we have hit 70 minutes here, it's Hardrock 0 and Scotland the visitors 0. 20 minutes to go as Knowledge Musona is behind that free kick. Does quite well, cleared away a bit, but not so quite. Timbanyoka falls under challenge, doesn't get a free kick. Abubakar Tumsebe finding young Timbanyoka. Timbanyoka in the box, but this one is cleared away emphatically by Hardrock there. Navaya. Knowledge Musona fighting so hard. Timbanyoka tries to hold on to the ball, but they cleared away from Hardrock, who have gained the confidence, Dalubushe.
Oh yes, they sold us a dummy in the first half. They pretended as if they were under pressure, yet they were absorbing the pressure, Pradev. Now they want to play.
Msebe, but important for Hardrock to get a point as a new team, and also Dalubushe for a young team. With anything can happen in the next 20 minutes, but to have managed to hold the defending champions of Zimbabwean football for this long, mate.
Oh yeah, positive, because as newly promoted team, one would expect them to get a walloping, but guess what? That technical bench at Hardrock tells you a big story.
The likes of Matora there tells you that this is a serious team, Talubuhle.
Yeah, well-prepared team. Like I was saying, if you look at the technical team, very, very solid. So we are going to have a good season. Shidolo there getting medical attention.
And Talubuhle, earlier on, we did see yellow. That is Godwin. He used to play for Amazulu, the defunct Amazulu in Zimbabwe, together with the men, that is Ezrom Nyandoro. They are part of the crowds. We also have dignitaries that include Honorable Ngube. There's so much dignitaries that have come to watch this one. Honorable July Moyo, Minister, coming through there, Dalu, and watching this game.
Oh yes, and the big boss of Zimbabwean football, Mr. Magwizi.
Also in attendance.
Also in attendance. So
Just
the who is who of football and leadership in Zim, all coming to have a wonderful afternoon with us here.
With us here, as we have witnessed also some good football as well, equaling the caliber of those that have attended. But there's just been fanfare. Just when you thought Scotland was going to come and override the Kwekwe community, the Kwekwe community, Dalubuhle, have come. The far side is all Kwekwe community supporting Hardrock. They have come in their numbers at Dalubuhle. They have not disappointed. And this will make teams like Dynamos, Highlanders, Caps United green with envy in terms of the amount of support that we see today, Dalu.
Oh, well-attended match. Well-attended match. And the euphoria, Pradev, it was just electric.
In town, the noise, the hooters, the paraphernalia that was dressed, as you can see, most of the guys from Hardrock, almost most of the supporters have their t-shirts.
Yes, Pradev. Now we have almost 3/4 capacity filled by supporters.
Definitely, Dalu. And we have 15 minutes to go before the end of this encounter. Hardrock holding on to dear life so far.
But that final pass from Bamara for me is still not really coming through.
As you can see, the crowds from Hardrock not happy with the second assistant referee there. But of course, we continue here with just less than 15 minutes to go in this encounter. They come again, Talubuhle, but the goalkeeper Charger does quite well as well in this encounter. Once again, that scoring line confirmation: Hardrock 0 and Scotland 0. Time ticking in this match. Hardrock again coming, probing and asking questions. Substitute there, and the ball goes out for a throw in. Tinashe Mashairen.
Yeah, he's on
Kevin
the bench.
Kaindu also just speaking to the fourth official about that one. Shidolo is in it as well. Abu Bakar.
Easily my man of the match today, Abu Bakar.
Definitely, definitely Dalubusha. He's really held his own, Dalu. And if you look at the referees, they've done quite well. So far, Brighton Chimene, the man in the middle of the park, Francis Chirwa, the near assistant, Polite Dube far assistant, third assistant, Lloyd Mapanje, the fourth official, so is Edson Kawu. and the referee giving the captain Walter Msona a yellow card for an infringement on Washington Navaya.
Lacey's
English Premier League is back.
Szoboszlai to Salah. Liverpool are running away with it again.
And ZBC TV brings to you the matchday action every Saturdays.
It may get even better for Manchester United. Ahmad! It's Palmer!
Catch all the action on ZBC TV.
We sincerely apologize for the loss of transmission there during that game at Chawanda Stadium. Scotland, the defending champions, taking on the debutants Hardrock. It's still 0-0 with almost 10 minutes remaining. A lot of action in the second 45. A number of substitutions are being made. So now we are going to be going back to see what remains of this game.
And Redcliffe are here. As I said, Minister July Moyo is here, and so is Minister Ngube. They are all here as now. They attack now. Oh, it's an opportunity! Knowledge Musona skying his effort.
He was supposed to put that run away, Pradev.
Put away the bait.
Miss.
Something else for Scotland, Dalubushe. Once again, that cross coming in. And Knowledge Musona deciding to lift his left foot high, too high. And Matea Unga seems to have picked a bit of a knock during that one, as Elton Sbanda, the reserve goalkeeper, not in your pictures. I'm sure he'll be trying to warm up as well.
Yeah, maybe he's taking a breather, Pradev, because there was no contact there.
In Talubushe, while we watch this 9 minutes before the end of this encounter, Hardrock 0, Scotland 0. Maybe just to pick your brains in terms of the players, the foreign players that have been involved today, how they've fared, Talubushe.
Yeah, maybe it's important that we mention them, especially we spoke about the Hardrock ones. Shidolo Moses from Namibia. We have Twala Wake from Swazi. And then we have Isaka, who's on the bench. For me, of all the foreigners, Abubakar and Wake, really impressive for me.
A mistake there that could cost Hardrock as they try and clear, but not so cleanly. Walter Msona to Moffat Abubakar. Msebe threading it to Shidolo. Back trying to find Msebe. He does quite well. Mtimbanyoka comes in with a cross. But Hardrock will clear their lines at Dalubushe.
Diro doing very well there.
Doing quite well.
Doing very, very well. That was quite dangerous.
And the 6th corner kick of the afternoon arrives, Dalubushe. And to be taken by none other than the silent assassin, that is Knowledge Musona.
Scotland asking all the questions now.
Asking all the questions. Abu Bakr. But their effort cleared there, Dalubushe.
Anywhere will do.
Corners. Shidolo. Msebe in the middle of the park. A miscue.
There Navaya making the mistake again of carrying the ball.
Too much holding on to the ball. But this time again with Mringai, they come through. That is Hardrock, a cut through. Brilliant play. Still in possession. Great stuff from Shidolo as he shepherds it out.
That 1-2 combination, Pradev, unsettling the Scotland defense there.
Hardrock now. With 6 minutes remaining. Cross coming from the right. And Chajga holds on to it. Any mistake in that area, Dalubushe, with a striker in attendance, could just spill doom for the visiting team, Dalubushe. As Mtimbanyoka will come through now to Kama Billiard, Shidolo, Knowledge Msona, Kevin Moyo, Abu Bakr, Peter Mudua for Scotland, finding the defensive element of Hardrock difficult, as Kama Billiard will win, but not so quite cleared away by Hardrock. They're on the attack. Hardrock finding Navaya. Navaya comes through. Once again, holding on to the ball, Dalubushe.
Yeah, but Shelton's Banda was open far right. If only he had got that ball to him and gone to the box to wait for that cross. He doesn't have the ability to hold on to the ball, Pradev.
Fails to hold on to that ball.
You know, the stadium reminds me, as we see that substitution there.
Last
throw of the dice, looking for that elusive goal.
As he comes in, that's Nyilenda there, Dalu. Washing Navaya seemed to have been running out of steam. A head concussion there.
"86 minutes we have played, Pradev, and both teams seem to be looking for that elusive goal. If you see all the substitutions that have been made, were attacking in nature. It tells you nobody wants to lose this game. Scotland came in to collect three points, and Hardrock says we are collecting 3 points. As we see that knock there.
And of course,
on Nigel Martina.
Nigel Matimba there getting a knock, and it comes in. It's a beautiful one. but Chajga does quite well to cleanly hold it, Dalu.
Oh, yes.
And
He's
good distribution as well, Dalu.
Yeah. Dangerous situation there. Ah, well read. Good defensive play.
Good defensive play. Once again, with almost 2 minutes left of this game, confirmation, Tel 1, Dynamos 2. Caps United in the lead now against Agama FC. Manica Diamonds and Simba Bora still deadlocked at 0-0. Highlanders still trailing Bulawayo Chiefs by that solitary goal, Dalu. And it's not looking too good for Esgama Kepula. That is Iboso Highlanders in this first game of the season, Dalu.
Yeah, baptism of fire for Benjani. If he loses this one, the next fixture is even more difficult, Dave, because he's playing Dynamos and Rufaro.
Dynamos who have just won today, this morning, as they come through now. In the box, Telubushe. Hardrock.
What a let-off.
And
what a let-off.
Serious let-off, Telubushe. Looks like it's a corner kick, Dalu.
Oh, yes. Look at that cross, Dave. I thought that was a goal. But guess what? Peter Dwight had other ideas.
As the first
it was a corner. Look at the support and let's hear the noise, Dave, from Hardrock.
And the referee says there was an infringement on Chajga. 1 minute left here at Chawanda Stadium. It's been a great competitive game from these two well-oiled teams. And Kuribab might be just added here. Wow, what support, Dalu.
This is what football is supposed to be, Dave. Just hear what the Hardrock supporters are doing now. Put it up, getting ready to come on. Remember him from Simba Bora?
Yeah. That confirmation, Moffat Abubakar coming in, but Kurupab, the Namibian,
deserves a standing ovation, Pradev. Control that midfield.
As you can see, confirmation of the added time, 4 minutes, Dalubutle. That's a lot in terms of football.
West off with the Gurira on the pitch now. Concentration time for Hardrock.
Well, the stadium, Dalubutle, is just almost full. More than 3/4 full this afternoon, Dalu.
Yes, and what a match we have witnessed in the second half. End-to-end action.
Attack.
Oh.
An attack, Dalubutle. Timbanyoka.
Exciting stuff, Pradev.
End-to-end action here at Chawanda Stadium. That confirmation of that substitution, Abubakar Moffat making way for Isaka Gurirab, the Namibian. So foreigners just exchanging play here. Scotland supporters bit anxious, Dalubutle.
Yeah, the Hardrock supporters are up on their feet. Up on their feet. What an afternoon we've had. Hardrock really looking for that goal. But Scotland will have none of it, Pradev.
Scotland clearing everything in their side. Well, an infringement on a Scotland player. Free kick taken by Peter Mudua. Kevin Kaindu, pretty pensive here. Norman Mapeza, just slightly in your pictures there, giving some last 2 minutes instruction in this game. Kuribab Isaka, first touch.
They need to track him, Pradev, because this man, he's got so much energy, very close ball control, very dangerous in the final third. And look at where he is right now.
Kama Billiards, fighting it out.
Good defensive work, Hardrock. It is as if we're watching a cup final, Pradev.
Well, this is beautiful. This is what the fans come to watch here. And this is what we come to do commentary on. Get entertained, get satisfied by what we watch. Beautiful, clean football. No red cards so far, Dalubutle. Just 2 yellow cards being flashed. Beautiful, sublime touches. Some very skillful tendencies from both ends. And of course, Shidolo also spicing it up this afternoon with that chest control towards his goalkeeper. That is Nelson Chajga. Shidolo again, back in it, as Mseve seems to be almost rounding this one. We are 30 seconds from the end of this encounter. It's been a great competitive game that we've watched here at Chawanda Stadium. The first time that competitive football has been played here in the city of Kwekwe. And the referee, Brighton Chimene, ends the end of the match here at Chawanda Stadium. Hardrock 0 and Scotland 0.
Advantage Hardrock, Pradev.
They played quite well.
Played very well.
And the crowds came and they loved it. And of course, what a great afternoon of football that we watched here at Chawanda Stadium. The first time that competitive football comes to Kwekwe at this stadium. Confirmation of that scoreline: Hardrock 0, Scotland 0, and we cross over to our pitch line as the coaches will be speaking to our crew. We take it over to Valentine Mabuku.
Okay. Indeed, what a game of football today, and I've got Norman Mapeza, the coach for Scotland. Norman, a draw you'll take away from home. Your overall sentiments?
That was a good game of football, you know, with maybe the little bit of luck. Could have managed to go back. We would have managed to go back with the maximum points. But look, we have still first game of the season. We still have to keep working hard. There are some other areas I think maybe we just need to improve on our decision making, especially in the final third, where we had some very good opportunities, but I think the execution was not there. But look, well done to the boys. It was not easy, a heavy pitch, but I will take this point home.
Indeed, and now looking to game 2, I guess you are mentioning about how you need to improve in terms of decision making, things that you could have done better today besides the decision making.
Yeah, the execution. Look, we had so many opportunities where maybe someone was asking to look up, pick up a spot, but we keep on forcing to cross the ball maybe in front of goal, which I thought we could have done better. Maybe we could have managed to get at least maximum points today.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Safe travels back to the capital.
Thank you.
All right, been talking there to Norman Mapeza, that is the Scotland coach, mentioning that they could have done better, but they'll take the point today. And of course, yeah, we've got the host, that is Coach Kevin Kayinde. Coach, draw at home to start the season for you. Will you take the point or you're disappointed?
Not good for us. We wanted to start with a win, but we're playing a very strong team. Tactically, they were superior than us. They had an advantage, but we looked good in terms of what we're doing in training. For me as a coach, I'm happy with the way that we played. The only things that we need to work on is maybe when we are on the transition. I think we lost a lot of retention in terms of losing possession, but I think in terms of organization, what we've been doing, I think I saw it on the field, and I'm happy. Despite having a new team, I think slowly we'll be getting better with every game.
And of course, let's look ahead to the next game, because I know you want to take game by game as it comes. Your next game is away, and your expectation on things that you need to improve from today.
Yeah, I think also the weather could have probably disadvantaged the outflow of the game, but it was a tightly contested game, possession and also keeping the ball. You could see that both teams have got quality. As much as we wanted a victory, a point is better than nothing. We are traveling away. Hopefully we keep the momentum and we'll be able to pick maximum points away from home. But so far, we are happy with the way that we played. I saw the shape. I saw what we're doing in training. What we need is just to improve on the way that we go forward.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for sharing with us your sentiments, and all the best in your future games.
Thank you very much.
All right, we've been talking there to Coach Kevin Kayindu, mentioning also that it's the start of the season. There are certain things that they could have done better in this instance, but unfortunately they couldn't execute them perfectly. But there's still room for improvement since it is the beginning of the season. Well, Asaren Harper, you did enjoy this historic moment that we gave you right here at Chawanda Stadium. The first official game to be played here, it will be edged in Zimbabwean history. It has been Hardrock taking on Scotland. Well, Asaren Harper did enjoy this live broadcast, and we take you back to the studio where, of course, our team is waiting with further analysis of this historic game in the Kasulaga Premier Soccer League 2026 season, where, of course, it ends here goalless as spoils are shared at Chawanda Stadium as it ends Hardrock 0, Scotland 0.
Well, goalless at Chawanda Stadium, the hosts Hardrock playing to a game that they were tactically inferior to Scotland, but listening to those managers after the game, Nomen Mapeza said there was something they could have done differently, the execution. Walter Msona, Knowledge Msona being the culprits, they could have scored in the second half, but they fell short, and this is exactly what Nomen Mapesa was talking about.
Well, exactly what the coach was talking about, but and again, it's also still the first game of the season. Nerves are still there, and also the pitch also contributed to a great extent. I mean, it wasn't a well to play on pitch because it was raining, it was also muddy, it was a heavy pitch, so it affected the style of play that they would have wanted to really execute.
And then looking at the statistics, at the end of the first 45, it was Scotland 4 and Hardrock 1, but at the end of the game, 6-4. And those are the shots on target. Possession ending and draw, 50% ball possession. But Kevin Kayindu coming out saying they were tactically superior than us.
No, I think I think he is a matured coach. I believe, and also looking at the game, he noted that Scotland for sure they are a better squad in terms of the names on paper, but they did very well. A draw against Scotland, I think, yeah, it was good, not bad for Hardrock.
So that's the game between these two teams at Chawanda Stadium. Like Valentino was talking about, a historic moment. We're now going to be looking at some highlights into what transpired in this just ended encounter. Hardrock 0, Scotland 0. Now, Spencer, before we start looking into the highlights, I mean, we're looking into Abubakar Moffat, and he was the man controlling almost everything. Timon Machope there in the first 45. When he was subbed off, we talked about maybe Nomen Mapesa not thinking straight.
Well, I think it was a technical substitution, but I think when he came off, it changed the complexion of the game. As we see the highlights there with Knowledge Msona going for goal and Tundrai Mateonga not doing good justice at ping pong. They're on there almost scoring an own goal there.
Yeah, I mean, so many opportunities. That's Timon Machope crossing into the box. Maybe Walter Msona could have capitalized on that bouncing ball.
Yeah, it's about tactical awareness. In those areas you should be always aware. The ball might just come to you, but he wasn't expecting it. That's why he couldn't even realize the ball is coming, and the awkward bound was also there. You can see. I think they need to work on in terms of positioning in the box. They all go to the one side. It's either one side or there's no option. Otherwise, it's a if actually Timon Machope works hard in terms of his positioning in the box and finishing, I think he can score whatever he scored, maybe twice or more than that.
And then you talked about that incident with the goalkeeper, Hardrock. You said you've seen him concede similar crosses, and we almost saw him conceding a goal from a very, very, very wayward ball. Could have been a decider. We also talked about Timon Machope in that incident as well. I, for one, believed he could have done better, but you justified the attempt.
Yeah, I know. The attempt was good. The idea was there. But I think also, you know, there are many conditions to this game which affected it. The balls also maybe sucked in a lot of water. He couldn't chip it. Was on the run, but you could see, you know, it was just a low ball and easy for the goalkeeper who was coming off his line. But altogether, I think, you know, this game, it needed on a perfect day. Not on a rainy day. It's you can see a lot has been exposed, especially the field. You know, it is a lot of pitches. You can see dark pitches.
Yeah.
It's difficult for the ball. Some players they cannot manage.
Okay, and then Spencer, the man who was taken off, we were now complaining about him running out of steam. Washington Navai, not his perfect game.
Not as a perfect game, and I think also his first time playing under Kelvin Kaindo, he tried to do too much by himself, holding on the ball for so long. I think he should have been holding the ball, also playing with the midfielders, but he tried to do everything by himself, and he ran himself off his socks, and he got tired. And
we expected so much more from the top goal scorer from last season, even the player of the year as well. But then these are the moments that Norman Mapesa was talking about. Execution. Sometimes looking up when they were supposed to go for goal, going for a low-driven cross when they were supposed to go for goal, and at the end it costed them.
Yeah, you know, he lost so many chances. They played too obvious. You know, the players were not taking proper decisions. You know, you see Mtimba Nyoka has been there. Shidolo also been there in that position, but the drawback was difficult for them. They're always putting the same ball, easy for defending. But in most cases, you get there, you head up, maybe you try another option, be it the second post or in the middle. But you know, they kept on aiming for the first post, which was very difficult. No one was there, and also defenders would be also looking at that position. So they were always stuck in that position and stay there for defending. But that was okay. I think good defending from Hardrock.
Okay, so gentlemen, thank you for being part of this historic moment. Kwekwe Chawanda Stadium. It's been a pleasure having you in studio.
Yeah, you know, thank you. Yeah, good.
So at the end of 90 minutes, it's Spencer who became the best prophet, predicting that it ends in a goalless draw or a draw of that sort. I've been Tendai Spud. It's been a pleasure giving you the best of the Kasolaga Premier League. Until next time, it's a solid goodbye.